Good day to you, those who are aspiring to take the statistics course. In this part of the course, we are going to talk about how to find the standard deviation. So, standard deviation, it gives a measure of the spread of data about its own mean. That's an indication of how it varies, how wildly or how closely it varies from its own mean. So, we'll do this with the aid of an example. So here we have an example in which a group of 20 people played the game. The table below shows the frequency distribution of their scores. So here we have our score, which will be like the x variable. And then the number of people, once we talk about counting, that is frequency. So we are counting how many people scored a score of 1, how many people scored a score of 2, how many people scored 4, and the like. So what we should understand is there are some formula we should know for us to calculate the mean, whether we have frequency or whether we have the raw data just not being grouped in any frequency distribution. So in this question, we are told that the mean is 5. So we are asked to find first the value of x and then the variation of the distribution. So let's talk about the solution there. So the formula that we should know are as follows. X bar is representing the mean, and then the sigma x, that's the sum of the x values of the raw scores, So we will be saying like 1 plus 1, because they are like two scores of 1. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 5 times. And then we also have 4, we have 7 fours. We have 7 fours because 7 people scored 4. So that's what we'll be doing if you choose to go this way. But if you choose to go this way, you just multiply the frequency times the x. So remember, like what we said the score, that's x, and then the number of people, that's representing the frequency there. So you'll be saying the frequency 2 times 1, then you add 5 times 2, and so forth and so forth. And then the sum of the frequency means the total number. So that's the formula you'll be using. So that's the one we are actually going to use in this case because it is more appropriate. So you start by writing the formula and then you substitute. Remember, here we were given that the mean is 5. It was a given. So it's now just a matter of saying fx. So our f, remember above here, the first frequency is 2 times 1. That's why you see it here. So 2 times 1, then 5 times 2, then 7 times 4, then 6 times x. It was going to be 6 times x. So we substitute it exactly like that, and the total frequency is 20. And then we just evaluate. It's just algebra from there. By the way we use the calculator to enter these values, I'll demonstrate it. So we go to mode. If you are using this version of Casio, it's recommended in the statistics course. So we are talking about one variable here. So the values of x, what are our values of x? Well, we have 1, we have 2, we have 4, and then we have 10, since now we found the 10. Then we navigate over to the frequency column. For the score of 1, the frequency is 2. For the score of 2, the frequency is 5. Then 7 for 4. Then for 10, the frequency is 6. So that's how you enter the data. Then you press AC. Then for us to find, let's find some 5 values. So shift 1. Then you shift 1 to go to states. And then let's see like how much data or how many data points do we have. So for that end, we can use option 4. We choose var, and then we take the option of n, which is how many data points there are. So it's confirming what we're told, that it is a group of 20 people. That's everyone. So again, if you want to look for anything else, it's just AC. Then after AC, it's shift, then 1, Then let's look for other things as well. Let's confirm if the mean is 5. So we can go with var, and then x bar is the mean. X bar is the mean. So we go with 2, and then equals, and then it's confirmation of what we were given, that the mean is 5. Then after that, we can look for other points. But in the next part, for us to find the variance now, there are some formula that we should know. One of them being as follows. We can use sigma squared. That's the notation for variance. So sigma x, that's the standard deviation, and the standard deviation is the square root of the variance. So a formula that you can use to that end is as follows: sigma f x squared over sigma f minus x bar squared. So the variance is basically the mean of the square minus the square of the mean, right? So here we can use our calculator for that purpose. So we can go again with, we already pressed AC, so shift then 1, then we look for the sums. So here we choose option 1. This model doesn't have fx, but you should know that the x squared, it's like those values of x that have been squared one by one and has been added. And we are seeing that this option of saying fx is doing the same thing. So in effect, it will be the same. So the sigma